who are meditating only on a fairly elementary sort of level, we can have some sort of feeling that merit is at work in us. Sometimes it's something as small as the difference between waking up in the morning and feeling in a good mood, or waking up in the morning and feeling that everything is going to go wrong today. It's just a feeling, but it's as if there's a different quality of energy which is at work in yourself. So, just as a battery can store up electrical energy, our mind can store up this special pure energy which is called merit. And in fact, the merit has the power to bring into fulfillment anything which you want. Given that you have enough of it, then you could make anything happen as a result of merit. The reason why it's not so obvious to people in general who may not believe very much about merit is that sometimes the merit doesn't give its effects immediately. If you did a good deed and immediately something good happened to you as a result of it, I think it would be a lot easier to convince people that merit is at work. But because sometimes it doesn't give its effect immediately, then this is why we have to go to a lot of lengths to explain to people about it. In fact, merit does give its results immediately, but it gives its results immediately only on the level of the mind. For example, if you do something generous, give some robes to the monk, help to save a small insect which happens to be drowning in a puddle of water, there is an effect immediately in your mind. But for most people who never meditated, because they are so unaware of the state of mind which they have, they don't notice it at all. It's only for people like ourselves who take more trouble to meditate that we are more in touch with how our state of mind may be at any particular time. So we may be more observant than most people, and we may be able to catch the merit as it happens immediately. Most people, if they are not tuned into how their mind is, they have to wait much longer for the merit to filter through onto a different level, which is a level of your character or your habits, where you find that you become more discerning, more detailed in your ability to do things, maybe less clumsy, more graceful, as a result of the merit which filters through into your state of not just your experience, but into your behavior as well. More than that, it will filter through into your lifestyle, again more slowly, so that your lifestyle will pick up and it will have more success, or it will be easier at least to achieve success in your life. If you wait longer still, eventually it will filter through into society around you, so that your society will have an upturn in the quality which it has. But because you must wait a long time, for most people it's not obvious why that's happening. Some people might think it's just luck, some people might think it's because of someone else. So really the most reliable place to see merit at work is by observing your own state of mind. And it's by meditation which we can do this more and more. So we know a little bit about how this energy is supposed to work. What sort of effect does it have on our mind? Well, if you charge a battery, the battery doesn't actually change. It's still cylindrical, it still has the same weight. But a mind which stores up energy is actually changed by the energy which is stored in it. It actually is transformed as it stores up more energy to be able to work more efficiently in a way, to be brighter, to be calmer, to be more detailed. However, just as with the battery, as we use up merit in our lives, as we bring things to success, of course it uses up certain amounts of energy, or certain amounts of merit, which is stored up in the mind. So each time you have a success, then it uses up some merit, right? So even though you may be collecting up merits in your life, you're also using them up as well. And it may be that if you are dispensing more merit than you are collecting, then the merit may actually run out. Can you think of what might happen if the merit ran out completely? Bad karma will start to insert itself into your life instead of the run of good karma which you have. Maybe even worse than that, you may even die on the spot. Like a car where the batteries run down, you know, just have to park it at the side of the road. Some people may actually come to the end of their life if the karma runs out. More commonly, people feel that it's like the bottom drops out of their life. They feel that nothing goes right anymore. They can't achieve anything successful in life anymore, even though they may try their hardest. Some people in business who normally have an element of risk in business anyway may find they go completely bankrupt and they can't do anything about it. This is the sort of thing which happens when the merit runs out. But as with karma, we mentioned yesterday about the forward pointing arrow instead of the backward pointing arrow, we also need to take care when we're studying about merit. So it's not as simple as it appears on the surface. Some people assume that if they do something good, then they should immediately get some benefit coming back to them because of it. This is a very simplistic way of understanding how merit works. I had an example of someone very new to a temple in England, and in fact they did a lot to help buy this or that to support the temple. But it turned out that one day, as they were attending a ceremony in the temple, someone broke into their car and stole things out of their car. And they felt that if this is the case, then merit is not working. It's just a myth. Because they couldn't see how they deserved that sort of thing if they had just recently done something very good. Why should this happen to them? Because normally the result of giving things is that your belongings should be protected from anyone who wants to steal them away. But again, this is a simplistic view of merit. We have to accept that the sort of things which are bringing fruits at any time may be a mixture of recent merits and also merits which maybe we've collected up a long time before. There's a particular classic example from the scriptures of a very regular supporter of the Buddha who each morning would bring food for the Buddha, and then after he had delivered the food, he would make his way home. And there was one day when he just stepped outside the temple gates and he was washing his face in a pool in front of the temple gates. And at that moment, a whole lot of the king's men came. They said, "There he is, the thief," beat him to death there and then. In fact, just by where he was washing his face, there was a bag of money which had been discarded by the real thief as he was making his escape. So when the king's men saw this guy washing his face just next to where this bundle of coins had been hidden in the rushes, they assumed it was him and beat him to death for it. And many of the monks in the temple said, "Well, this is hardly fair. This guy has been giving food to the temple regularly. Surely by his karma, this sort of end is not worthy of such a good supporter." And the Buddha gave a very simple response. He said, what happened to this man is not fitting for his karma in the present lifetime, but it is fitting for his karma in a previous lifetime. And it turned out that when the Buddha revealed this man's past, they understood why. There had been a lifetime when this man had been a guard in a forest outpost. And at that time, there had been a couple had come along and asked to stay the night at his forest outpost before continuing on their journey. And the wife of the couple was very attractive. When the guard saw this couple coming to stay, he made a conspiracy, thinking of a way to have the man's wife for himself. In order to do that, he would have to dispose of the husband. So what did he do? He had one of his servants hide a bag of jewels in the cart of this couple as they were sleeping. In the morning, just as they were about to leave, he kicked up a big fuss. "Oh, my jewels have disappeared. Quickly search the whole place and see if we can find them." Of course, they turned up where he'd left them, in the coach of the couple, and he immediately accused the husband of having stolen his jewels and had him put to death for it. So that guard, next lifetime, was the very good supporter of the temple, but he had this bad karma coming to him from having framed the other guy for stealing the jewel in the previous lifetime. So that is why being put to death was appropriate, not for his good karma in the present lifetime, but for the bad karma he'd done in the lifetime before. So this is why we can't be simplistic in our understanding of how merit works. Because for the most part we have no idea what we have in our background. We have no idea what we have, what sort of bad karma we may have collected up for ourselves in the past. But if we have some idea of how merit works, we realize that what we bring with us into the world for each person is not the same. Even if you look at newborn babies, are they the same? If everyone was a clean slate when they came into this world, then all babies would be the same. Equally clever, equally handsome, equally healthy, but that's not the case. Some babies don't even make it to birth. Some die in the womb. Some are aborted. Some are deformed at birth. Some have severe deficiencies in their mental capabilities. Some are bad-tempered. They cry a lot. Others are calm. It's not because of what their mother's done to them, but this is things which they bring with them into the world. It's their nature. And you don't find religions explaining the differences, why coming into the world already there are this disparity in the good or bad luck which a human being has. In Christianity they say, oh, if a guy is stupid from birth, they say, well, he must have been a long way down the queue when God was giving out brains. But, you know, it's a joke, it's not an explanation. No one thinks about why babies should be not all the same. But from a Buddhist point of view, we would say it's because it's not their first lifetime. It's because everyone has a background. Everyone has a history. And what they've done in that history is not the same. So we have differences in our personal makeup. When we talk about how to cultivate this special energy called merit for ourselves, in a very simple explanation, there are three main ways in which we can cultivate merit. Perhaps you know it already for yourself. Three main ways in which you can cultivate merit. In Pali language, these three methods are called puññakiriyavatthu.